Ram, and nobody beats our prices. Holy great deals, Batman. How do we do it? Murray Superstores offer an exclusive 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty. So stop paying those big city prices at those big city dealers. Shazam! And we'll trade anything from kitchen mops to laptops. Compare our prices online at ShazamAuto.com. Then come see me, Dale Murray. I'll be waiting for you. Shazam!
You might want to buckle up, baby.
And now get ready for WTF.
You want to prove once for all that I'm better than you? Strap up.
Bring it on, Big Brother Tin Man.
Whose take is first? Brought to you by TireOutlet.com. Wholesale prices, premium service.
Should be like the blue dots over our face or something, like some sort of protest, some form of protest.
TV?
How do I look, Hick? Stunning?
You look
buddy.
beautiful, Jeff.
Thank you.
I like your J-Fun shirt here on J-Fun Day.
Yeah, it's J Fun Day. I had to go deep into the archives to pull this one out, Hick. I mean, this might be from like circa 98.
Will you stop moving my camera, Hick?
Yeah, you really have messed everything up.
You
here.
are
Okay.
absolutely, you are the worst,
Yeah,
man.
now he's going to show beef in there. He's like a child. It really is.
It really is. Cherubic.
Just kind of look at it that way, and you know, to the same joy that children are supposed to bring you, you let Dan bring that to you.
Yes,
That's
he
all
is,
you do.
he is very childlike.
And then like children, you can't just slap him. You just got to discipline him in other ways.
I have wanted to on numerous occasions.
Now he's probably framed the shot that it'll only be him this
Now
morning.
he's put you in the frame, Jeff. That's
good.
friendship.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Lauren Brooks just sneezed.
I'm pretty.
Or now he's going to do like Jeff and
Pretty.
stand up, be decapitated for the whole
Could have
segment.
said,
I've done
God
that-
bless you.
I've done that before. Yeah, I've done that before. I've stood. I'm
It's a
not
silent
afraid.
sneeze, though.
Yeah.
Well done.
So anyway, so Beef,
Learned.
you've gone over the landscape of not just locally but nationally, and you've determined what really the hot talker is in this country, and now we'll set you straight. Is that how this works?
Allegedly.
We're
We
talking
also,
football? Is that what it
we
is?
encourage the Googans to weigh in on the text line driven by Duval Ford, 641-1010. One lucky Googan.
I
this
have
morning.
a hot take. If you would like to just defer to me.
We'll get a floral arrangement from our friends at Kuhn Flowers.
Apparently not.
I mean, I could provide the what could give us an
Well,
awesome
Take it away, Jeff.
8 minutes. No,
I
I'm not-
defer to you.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to be smart aleck
No, I
either.
agree.
I was thinking about this, Dan. I'm reading through the NFL's all these various platforms making their predictions and
Yes.
not the records. I was looking at some of the individual predictions, and you know who they predicted? A couple of them to lead the league in interceptions again. Or not again, but to lead the league
Throwing
in
the
interceptions.
most interceptions?
No,
What,
lead
quarterback?
it in catching in intercepting the football.
Defensive players.
The guy from
defensive-
Tennessee?
No.
Kevin Byard.
I'm not saying. I didn't mean to say again. I'm not saying last year's.
Oh.
I don't know who last year's.
AJ
interception-
Boye.
Yeah, AJ Boye.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it got to me to thinking, you know, maybe there's a method to Jalen Ramsey's madness, and maybe he needs to talk all this noise. I'm trying to figure out why it is that we put Jalen Ramsey on the fast track to Canton when it was AJ Boye had the most interceptions last year. It's AJ Boye, who also was Pro Bowl and also All-Pro. And when you look at now, is that just because he gets more opportunity because they avoid Ramsey? Is it that simple?
I do think it's that simple.
Yeah. There's that
I
big
think
a difference between the two of them?
No. I think AJ Boye is a great player. I'll say this in case you weren't listening last week, you Googans out there, and this is the most amazing thing to me, that 3/4 of that defensive backfield went undrafted. The best secondary in the NFL, arguably, Barry Church, AJ Boye, Tayshaun Gibson, not drafted. AJ Boye, Pro Bowler. Barry Church, very solid pro. Tayshaun Gibson should have been at least a Pro Bowler, according to
And I think he has been once in Cleveland, I believe.
We've got, what do we say, Wyoming, Toledo, and Central Florida? Is that where they're all from? I mean, that's amazing, along with, the third or fourth pick. What was he, third pick? Fourth pick overall. Fourth pick overall in Jalen Ramsey. So, but I do, A.J. Boye backs down from no one. He's so mild-mannered and soft-spoken, though. He gets ticked, don't get me wrong, but he's such a he's so quiet, and he's not big, He is a bad man, though.
Could Jalen Ramsey...
I got a lot of respect for A.J. Boye, I guess what I'm saying.
Could Jalen Ramsey inadvertently be taking away any publicity and notice that would and should go to A.J. Boye, who is, look, I understand that we have proclaimed Jalen Ramsey better. It ain't a lot better.
No, A.J. Boye was particularly irked last year when he didn't make first team All-Pro.
Yeah.
That one bothered him because in the regular season, if I'm not mistaken, there was not one touchdown pass against A.J. Boye. And this I don't know, but because I remember when Antonio Brown caught one, that was the first one that he had given up. And I think he had one of the lower quarterback ratings when they threw his way. You know, the quarterbacks had.
Yeah, he would retweet all the stats that Pro Football Focus
I mean, it
would send
matters
out.
to those guys. It matters. And, you know, they can say it doesn't, but it does. And that's fine. But I like I said, I have a ton of respect for A.J. Boye just because he took the harder route, obviously. He didn't have all the – he wasn't even drafted, and he went to UCF, which when he came out of UCF wasn't even the UCF of now. So much respect to A.J. Boye and the Jaguars. I hope he gets 3 picks on Sunday.
I think Jalen. I think, and I don't think it's his intent.
No,
but he's taking away.
Well, I'll say this:
spotlight and due from the guy across him that should be getting more. When we talk about, I mean, it's all we talk about, and Jalen has done that with his mouth. His play has been good, but if he weren't going full frontal on these opinions and topics, then he wouldn't. He's upping his stature around the league with this inflammatory comments. I believe that. So
it doesn't
in ways,
bother.
There's methods to the madness.
I don't believe that bothers A.J. Boye.
But it is detracting from him.
I think he has a excellent friendship with Jalen Ramsey. I think they hang out and such. So
yeah, he went up over the summer to Tennessee.
Oh, and I'm not trying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to.
You're trying to divide them.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm not selling. I'm not selling some division that's occurring because of it. But I just wonder if one of the offshoots, in addition to pushing Jalen Ramsey up by his comments, isn't keeping A.J. Boye from getting his complete due.
I think they should be referred to as the best duo in the league.
And I think just about anyone would put them there. Don't you think?
But it seems like it's often talked about Jalen versus AJ getting that due.
Although, I mean, there are some people, I look at some lists and they still have A.J. Boye listed as the better corner. I mean, there have been lists in the last year when listing the cornerbacks that have, I mean, I can remember, it's changed since then, but this time last year I can remember looking at one that had, Jalen Ramsey like 8th and A.J. Boye 3rd or 4th. We've seen some of those.
Yeah, but I think it was Jalen's play that vaulted him up there. Now, certainly the notoriety that he has allowed him.
Well, here's the question I have.
Move up.
And again, I can't. We speak here. We see every single play, but I mean, typically you judge a corner and a shutdown corner by his interceptions.
Listen, the guy who there's 4 or 5 corners who think they're the best corner in the NFL. Xavier Rhodes in Minnesota, the famed Timmy and the Norseman show in the mornings. The Norseman screams about Xavier Rhodes all the time and says he's the best corner in the NFL.
Yeah.
Out in L.A. with Biff and Pocoroba
Peterson
on in the AM, they scream about Hayward. So wherever you go, whatever team you have, if you got a good corner, they all say he's the best one in the league. Yeah, Patrick Peterson in Arizona, where the old man in the sea hosts the morning show. They also think that. So it just depends where you are. But Jalen Ramsey certainly has gained the notoriety through this offseason.
It
It
has.
started with AJ Green, right? Like, didn't that all of a sudden let the nation know about
I'm
the
just
trash
saying
talking?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I want to know what parameters we're using to say that Jalen Ramsey had a better year than A.J. Boye, other than Jalen Ramsey was named the first team All-Pro. I want because if you look at quarterbacks passer rating against, if you look at passes defended or intercepted, he's on par with just about all those. I'm looking at USA Today's most recent list of top corners in the league, and at the end of the day, this is the beauty of it all. Jalen Ramsey won, A.J. Boye 3.
Yeah.
So I guess any perceived slight that he's getting isn't existing out there. But understand that this time last year, there were a lot of people, a lot of these national lists had Boye ranked as the better player. Not on par. You could find lists last year.
That's what makes Sunday so fun, is we're going to be able to watch Odell Beckham Jr. go up against either one of them, and we don't care who he lines up against.
It'll be interesting to see if they send Jalen.
I wouldn't.
Around with Odell Beckham.
They didn't
Jr.
do that last year.
No, I don't know why you would.
Yeah.
If you have the 3rd best cornerback in football, why would you do? I wouldn't
Right.
do that. Yeah, I don't think it's worth doing. I don't think he's that much of an upgrade.
Yeah. So
Unless you think Jalen can get in Odell's head and AJ can't.
Listen. This
Odell
is,
does
this,
seem like a
by
guy
the
who
way,
could go
this
off
is
the
this
rocker.
is bad. This is a bad news Sunday for the highest paid receiver in football. This is a bad news Sunday for Odell Beckham Jr. These typically, and I know Antonio Brown put up a lot of numbers against the Jags last year, but it was a little, especially the first game, a little misleading because they had built such a big lead. But these receivers don't have good days against top corners typically. I mean, they just don't. And
I'm curious to see how Eli plays. Eli Manning is coming off a year where he only had 19 touchdowns. He hadn't had that few since 2013 when he had a very bad year. Those are his two he had 18 in 2013 and 19 in 2017. I'm just wondering if that is a byproduct of being on a bad team and being 3-12 from one season ago, because he threw the ball almost as many times as he did in 2015 and 2016 when he had 35 and 26 touchdowns. But he's gone 35, 26, 19. So
Eli Manning is an average quarterback at this stage of his career.
He's not young, but you wonder if Father Time is gaining on him at all, and maybe he left some of the magic fairy dust that he sprinkled on Roger Federer up in New York, and maybe that'll linger on
He really
Sunday.
only had Evan Ingram as a good weapon last year, though.
Yeah,
and so
and that's fair. I mean, again,
a lot of the attention's on Odell and Sterling Shepard, but I think the Evan Ingram matchup against the linebacking core is going to be better.
Obviously, the Giants have seen enough in practice and such that they believe in Eli Manning. Yeah. They didn't draft a quarterback. They jettisoned their backup guy. I mean, they're
and by the way,
they're all in on Eli.
By the way, I did note that over the weekend, and it wasn't just Davis. Landry Jones is another one. That's, by the way, when you're screaming on draft day, it's 5th round, take a quarterback. Most of them aren't Tom Brady. Most of them are Landry Jones and Davis Webb.
95% of them are.
Big arm, strong quarterbacks who aren't any good, who you take in round 3 or 4, and 3 years later, you've replaced them with an. That's why I screamed and God bless him. But that's why, I can't think of a worse draft pick in the history of the Jaguars than taking Tanner Lee in the 6th round. That was just a wasted pick. And
he's on the practice squad.
That proved to be that. He'll never, Lauren Brooks, ever in a million years make one bit of difference for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's not any good.
From the little I've seen him at practice,
no,
I tend to agree.
There's this important thing about being a quarterback. You have to throw the ball on target, and he's never been able to do that. And I don't mean to, pick on him, but at the time I would have just, go with a running back or another lineman or
special teams.
Who 90% of the time they end up being like the fullback we took from Miami.
Same
thing.
Yeah, like Leon Jacobs, the 7th rounder. We got a starter 1 round later.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Could have taken him in round 6.
Well,
there's a lot more 4th to 7th round stars and studs at other positions than quarterback. That's for sure. Now, there's also more of other positions.
More positions.
But it's not even comparable. A quarterback is, for the most part, a first-round conquest. If you don't get them there, for the most part, then you're not getting
50-50,
a great one.
It's not the most part. It's 50-50.
First-round quarterbacks?
Yeah.
I don't think it's 50-50.
I mean,
I don't think it's 50-50. Almost, the starters in the league are
they're all first-rounders?
No, but most of them are. Yeah, most of them are. Phillip Rivers, Matthew Stafford, Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Ryan, Alex Smith, Jared Goff, Blake Bortles. I'm going down there. Jameis Winston, Eli Manning. You go down the list, and most of the great ones are first-round picks. Not all of them.
Guy won the Super Bowl last year wasn't Dak Prescott.
The guy who won the Super Bowl last year, they don't even want to start this Thursday.
But he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't.
The guys.
We can argue a lot of things. It's not 50-50 first-round great quarterbacks versus.
No, I'm just
other
saying
rounds.
though. There's Dak Prescott, Nick Foles, Kirk Cousins.
None of those guys are
Drew Brees, Hall of Famer,
second rounder though.
Okay, but that's not a first round.
That's one. I get it. Give me the Super
just
Bowl
named
winner.
4 out of 8.
You gave me who?
I just went
Andy
through the
Dalton
NFC, the
and
NFC North,
Dak
the NFC
Prescott.
South.
Who are the?
I didn't say they were great. I said you said starters.
No, I'm talking about great players, not just starters. Starters, yeah, because quarterbacks are only 32. Anyway,
the
let's go to
success rate changes between picking 1 through 16. There's an 81% success rate of quarterbacks. This is drafted 1990 through 2016, and then 17 through 32, 65%. So it changes even in the first round.
The best typically are high.
Let's take a break. We'll come back with more.
Freedom
See what's
Book Club
trending.
Wednesday.
Yep.
The Drill on 1010XL. From the studios of Republic Services, we'll handle it from here.